Did you know that within your baby's first year of life, their brain will double in size and form over 1 million neural connections every single second? That makes this the single most critical window for neurological development that your child will ever have. And yet, most parents are told to just track milestones, their first smile, first roll, first steps, first words. And if something feels off about how or when they hit those milestones, the answer to that is almost always the same. It's wait and see, or they'll grow out of it. But what if your baby is technically hitting milestones while their nervous system is struggling underneath? What if the foundation is cracked and nobody is checking it? Because your baby's first year is so much more than just a checklist. So here's something that most parents don't realize. A baby can technically pass every developmental screening while still having underlying neurological dysfunction that's impacting their health, their learning, and their behavior for years to come. The conventional model, it will check whether your baby can roll at 6 months, but it doesn't check whether that roll is symmetrical, coordinated, or built on proper and complete neurological development. We hear it every single week in our office. I knew something was off, but everybody told me not to worry. Now, let's break down what's actually happening in these scenarios. First, your baby's nervous system is the air traffic controller for their entire body. During that first year of life especially, the brain has this extraordinary ability to form new pathways and to adapt. This is what we call neuroplasticity. It's what allows babies to develop so quickly, but it also makes their nervous system very uniquely vulnerable to stress. When there is nervous system interference, what we call subluxation, from things like prenatal stress or birth trauma, it can create these early patterns of nervous system dysfunction. On top of that, dysautonomia, or an imbalance between the sympathetic gas pedal side and the parasympathetic or brake pedal side. And that can throw everything off. So when that foundation is stressed, every single milestone that follows is often built on shaky ground. Second, every milestone that your baby hits is actually a neurological test. Feeding and latching, for example, this is your baby's first major neurological assessment. It requires multiple cranial nerves all working together with precise timing between the brain and the muscles. Things like head control, that comes online around 8 to 12 weeks. It gives us an insight into how the cervical spine and the deep neck stabilizers are developing. Even what's commonly called the 4-month sleep regression isn't actually a regression at all. It is a massive neurological reorganization. Crawling, again, is one of the most neurologically significant milestones because it stimulates balanced development between both hemispheres of the brain. And that's what lays the groundwork for them to walk. It lays the development for coordination and even the reading skills later on in life. So when babies skip crawling or they crawl asymmetrically, we often will see challenges later with learning, coordination, and even behavioral regulation. And this is the key. The sequence of their development matters so much more than the speed. Third, we have to talk about what we call the perfect storm. So this is how multiple stressors stack up and overwhelm a developing nervous system. It often starts way before birth, where prenatal stress or even mom's stress levels during pregnancy will directly impact fetal brain development. And then during birth, things or interventions like Pitocin, forceps, vacuum extractions, or C-sections can all place really significant physical stress on the baby's head, their neck, and the entirety of their nervous system. And then after birth, things like disrupted sleep, overstimulation, early antibiotic exposure, and feeding challenges, all of that will continue to layer on stress after stress. Each of these pushes the nervous system further into sympathetic dominance, so into that fight or flight state when babies should be calm, they should be regulated and developing. And you guys, this isn't about guilt. It is about understanding why some babies struggle and what we can actually do about it. Fourth, this is why the wait-and-see approach completely misses this window. Conventional pediatric care focuses on whether milestones happen within this broad time frame, but not about how well the nervous system is functioning. A baby can pass a screening while compensating through tension, through asymmetrical movement, or skipped developmental stages. So even when parents bring up concerns like feeding issues, sleep struggles, or excessive crying, they're often told that it will go away on its own. But this approach overlooks the most critical time in development, when that neuroplasticity is at its peak and the nervous system is most adaptable to change. Those struggles don't go away. They simply present as different struggles as the nervous system progresses through different stages of dysfunction. And what is consistently missed is the evaluation of subluxation and dysautonomia, that underlying interference in the imbalance that doesn't show up on standard tests at your pediatrician's office. And as a parent, your instincts, they matter so much. If something feels off, there's almost always a reason. Finally, let's talk about what you can do Neurologically focused chiropractic care is designed to support and to optimize your baby's nervous system during this critical window. So in our office, we use advanced insight scanning technology to objectively measure how your baby's nervous system is functioning. This is how we ensure that your child isn't just moving through milestones, but that their nervous system development is complete, it's efficient, and it's optimized for motor development, academic, and emotional success. These scans, they're gentle, they're non-invasive, and they give us insight into heart rate variability, muscle tension, and temperature regulation, which are all key indicators of stress and imbalance within the nervous system. So from there, adjustments that we do, they are incredibly specific and very, very gentle. No more pressure than you would use to check the ripeness of a tomato. So care is tailored to each developmental phase, whether that's us helping improve feeding and regulation in the early weeks, or supporting motor development, sensory processing, social interaction as your baby grows. There is a saying that's attributed to Frederick Douglass that says, "It is easier to build strong kids than it is to repair broken adults." So instead of waiting for problems to appear, we take a proactive approach, helping your baby's nervous system to function at its best from the very beginning. And time again, families see incredible improvements in sleep, in feeding, and overall development when that interference is addressed early. Your baby's first year is the greatest opportunity that you will ever have to influence their neurological development and their long-term health. The patterns built during this time don't just go away. They shape everything that comes next. So if you've noticed challenges with feeding, with sleep, development, or regulation, trust your instincts. You don't have to wait and see what this turns into. Click the link in our bio, send us a message, or drop a comment below to schedule your baby's neurological evaluation with the team here at Foundations Chiropractic. Your baby isn't just learning to eat, sleep, and move. They are building the foundation for their entire life. Let's make sure that that foundation is strong.